Spirituality, politics, rage, and the root chakra. How are all those connected? So, in the past few years, there's been a lot of people who have spiritual gifts. They might be astrologers, tarot readers, psychics, energy readers, who have really come onto the scene to talk about their insights, their premonitions, if you will, about the political arena. A lot of these people have been incredibly rageful. They call other people names who don't feel politically aligned with them. They get very angry and curse and accuse people of, being less than human. They're very upset with the so-called opposition. That's not really spiritual. You can have premonitions, you can be incredibly intuitive, you can be gifted when it comes to astrology, tarot, energy reading, but that doesn't necessarily mean you're a spiritual person, especially if you're becoming enraged over current political issues. If you're trying to constantly take other people's temperature and gauge where they're at with politics and write them off if you don't feel like they're politically aligned with you. Spirituality is the trust. It's the trust that the divine order will work. It is the trust, the root chakra, the healed root chakra that is not an ego, that is not enraged, that has an understanding that humanity, right? Aquarius, the age of Aquarius, Pluto and Aquarius, which we're coming into, has a collective desire to ascend into a better, peaceful, more holistic type of society. There is a time for righteous indignation. There is a time for righteous rage. That is spiritual. That's definitely spiritual. The creator himself or themself or herself, however you want to title them, whatever pronouns you want to give the creator, does have righteous rage. Definitely does. 100%. But accusing other content creators or getting upset at people that might have other beliefs, and you think you have better beliefs than them, that's why I had that slip up. That's not spiritual, and that is not righteous rage. That's not righteous indignation. When we are in a weakened state of trust and safety, when a root chakra needs a lot of healing, it might have attachments, that's when we get into ego. That's when we get into a false state of rage, thinking that rage, that ego is going to protect us. That false sense of hubris is going to protect us from those who wish to do us harm, that we believe in our perception, even if we have no evidence that they're going to do so, right? Because if you are truly spiritual, you are open-minded, that there's always a different perspective. There's always a shadow side to your perspective, and maybe you're operating in your shadow side. Truly spiritual people understand that others are living a different lived-in experience and different timeline, therefore they might have a different viewpoint and perspective than them. Doesn't make their perspective necessarily better or your perspective necessarily better or more dignified. If you watch astrologers and intuitive readers that have been around for a long time, like Pam Gregory, for example, these people have a lot of wisdom and they do give us messages of caution, but with a lot of calm, with a lot of love, with messages of how we can connect and collectivize together as humanity, and where our common ground is as humanity, not where our differences lie, not where the chasm lies. Dolores Cannon talks about the waves of volunteers, and I feel like if you really are a volunteer to create new earth, then you're not going to scream at people online, other content creators that are also saying that they're spiritual, because you don't like their brand of spirituality and doesn't necessarily align with your own. That screaming and hooting and hollering and finger pointing and name calling seems a lot like old talk show radio politics, those political hosts like Rush Limbaugh. And is that who we really want to be Is that the example we want to be to the world? Is that how we're raising our vibrations? Because to me, that seems very shadow. That seems very much of a place of a weekend root chakra. Weekend, not weekend, but weekend root chakra. If you're constantly talking about what you don't like, you're attracting that shadow side into your life. You're not focusing on the light. You're not focusing on what can grow. It's like if you have a plant, right, and you set the intentions for that plant to grow, then that plant's gonna, grow, because you're gonna put that energy into nurturing that plant. If you're really worried that plant's gonna die, then you're probably gonna overly water it and do something to it where it's going to perish. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you feel like somewhere along the line, people with spiritual gifts might have gone a little off track here. And how can we get back on track? How can humanity get back on track to stop being so angry, but actually try to find the commonality, try to find the peace, try to find the unification? Have a blessed day.